Part 1. The Phantom and the Reality. There is a ghost standing in your room right now. It doesn't rattle chains, it doesn't hide in the dark. It stands right beside your bed, wearing your exact face, staring down at you with deep, silent disappointment. It is the phantom of the person you were supposed to become today. You wake up. Your mind is immediately on fire with big goals, a massive project, an empire, a life built on pure, unadulterated discipline. You feel a sudden surge of raw ambition. You tell yourself that today is the day everything changes. And then you make the fatal compromise. You reach for your phone. You promise yourself it'll just be for 5 minutes. But those 5 minutes bleed into 50. Your sacred morning dissolves. Your afternoon becomes a chaotic blur of meaningless tasks, things your brain invents just to make you feel busy while achieving absolutely nothing. By the time night falls, you find yourself lying in the exact same spot, staring blankly at the ceiling, suffocating under a heavy wave of guilt and self-disgust. You betrayed yourself. Again. Welcome to this cold, painful reality. If you recognize this violent battle inside your own mind, welcome to Money Harvest. Hit that subscribe button right now. Your support gives us the massive motivation to keep making videos that wake up the dormant giant inside you.
Part 2. The Weight of the Invisible Pedestal. To defeat this enemy, we must confront why your mind refuses to let you take the first step. Inside your head, you have built a flawless, perfect monument to your own potential. And that very monument, it is crushing you to death. Because you have high taste and you know what greatness looks like, you set an impossible standard for your own beginning. You don't just want to write a book, you want to craft a masterpiece. You don't just want to start a business, you want to disrupt the entire industry on day one. Because your vision is so perfect, the thought of making something mediocre triggers absolute panic. Your brain sees the gap between your huge ambition and your current, unrefined skills as a direct threat to your identity. If you try your best and produce something terrible, your illusion shatters. The comforting fantasy that you are a hidden genius is violently ripped away. You're forced to face the terrifying possibility that you might just be ordinary. So your mind creates a defense mechanism. It paralyzes you. It tells you that as long as the idea stays perfect inside your imagination, it cannot be ruined by your inexperienced hands. You choose the safety of doing nothing over the vulnerability of trying. You protect your ego at the cost of your entire future. I used to sit at my desk, staring at a blank screen until my eyes burned, terrified to type a single word because it didn't match the masterpiece in my head. I chose to be nothing rather than risk being bad. Perfectionism is not a virtue. It's a cowardly fear of exposure. Until you realize that your flawless expectations are the exact poison paralyzing you, you will remain trapped in this beautiful, empty prison. Part 3. The Illusion of Fake Productivity. This fear forces your brain to build comforting lies to protect your ego. Welcome to the world of fake productivity, the ultimate dopamine trap. Because looking at your lack of progress is too painful. Your brain desperately seeks tasks that feel like progress, but carry zero risk. You become a master of preparation. You spend hours researching the perfect camera equipment instead of filming a single messy video. You design beautiful, color-coded Notion templates and plot out the next 5 years of your life, yet you cannot execute the very first task on today's list. You consume an endless diet of podcasts, self-help books, and motivational speeches, convincing yourself that learning is the same as doing. It's a devastating lie. Every time you highlight a quote, your brain releases dopamine, rewarding you as if you actually achieved something. I lived in this fake state for years, wearing the mask of a busy visionary, while my actual output was zero. I was a professional student of success, but an absolute novice in reality. This is the tragedy of our generation. We are highly informed and optimized, yet completely immobilized by endless preparation. We use learning as a sophisticated form of procrastination. The brutal truth you must swallow today is this: motion is not action. Building a beautiful runway doesn't matter if you never take F. Every day you spend sharpening the axe without ever swinging it at the tree is a day you steal from your own destiny.
Part 4. The alchemy of imperfect action. Shattering this toxic illusion requires a violent escape from everything you believe about motivation. You've spent your life waiting for a magical surge of inspiration, a perfect day where you wake up with no fear and total drive. Let me stab that childish fantasy right now. That day is never coming. The pivot in my life happened when I finally realized that courage is not the absence of fear. It's the choice to act while fear is screaming in your ear. To break this cycle, you must lower the barrier to entry until it is lying on the floor. You must give yourself unconditional permission to make absolute garbage. Success doesn't begin with gold. It begins with dirt. Sit down with the explicit goal of writing one terrible sentence, recording one atrocious video, or coding one broken line. By lowering the expectation, you disarm the perfectionism that paralyzes you. The goal is no longer to be brilliant. The goal is simply to step into the arena. The friction of starting is always exponentially greater than the friction of continuing. Once a terrible first draft is on paper, it takes physical form. It becomes clay. And clay, no matter how ugly, can be shaped. Nothingness cannot. You don't need more discipline or another framework. You need the radical humility to accept that you are a beginner, and beginners are supposed to stumble in the dark. Drop the heavy baggage of your past failures. Look at your hands and demand just one small, messy action from them today. Part 5. The final crossroads. This brings us to the ultimate crossroads of your brief existence. You can listen to every strategy and nod along to my words, but nothing will alter your reality until you confront the ticking clock. Time is the one currency you are losing daily, and the universe doesn't care about the genius locked inside your head. The ghost standing beside your bed is a real warning. Soon, the future you keep pushing off will become the past. You will run out of tomorrows. The pain of discipline and the vulnerability of putting flawed work into the world is agonizing, but it is a healthy, productive pain. The pain of a muscle tearing so it can grow stronger. The pain of regret, however, is a terminal disease. It's a slow rot that eats your soul when you are old, frail, and left only with the haunting echo of what if. You are standing on the edge right now. The safety net of your excuses has been cut. Do not close this video and search for another dopamine hit of motivation. Do not write another plan for next week. The war is fought in this exact moment. Will you surrender to your paralysis, letting the ghost of your potential haunt you into the grave? Or will you finally step into the dirt of the arena, embrace the chaos of execution, and turn that phantom into reality? The choice is brutally yours. Take a breath, turn off the screen, and finally, begin.